Hi, welcome to my channel. In a nutshell, it's about spiritual growth. I'm not here to be a guru. I'm not perfectly enlightened or saying that. But that said, I have been on this path for over 40 years now, although I really stepped on it with full vigor and enthusiasm back in 1997. I have had spiritual awakening experiences and strange, sort of supernatural kind of experiences going back to my teenage years, especially when I was first on my own at the tender age of 17 in the big city. I could tangibly feel the presence of angelic and protective forces around me. I've also had out-of-body experiences, and once when in childhood, this one, I was about 8 or 9 years old, I have a very vivid memory of a crone or an old hag looking at me over my bed when I was sleeping, and I woke up and saw this. And perhaps you've had experiences like this or similar types of experiences. But the most impactful spiritual awakening I had was probably at age 34. I had been a musician since childhood, and I was going through a rough patch in my life, and I started partying really hard at around age 28, so this went on for 6 years. Saturn return, huh? I was playing in rock bands at the time. Alcoholism took over, and for those 6 years, it was a very dark night of the soul. And of course, the alcoholism led to many other difficulties in my life as well. One day in 1997, just before Christmas, I was on my knees praying for help because I knew that I was going to destroy myself and my life if I wasn't able to stop, and I didn't know how to stop. And I got a very strong message to go to the local library. I found myself there looking at books, psychology and addiction, and researching. And one theme kept jumping out at me over and over and over in all the books that I looked at, and that was the 12-step program of AA. So that night, I was at my very first meeting. I went every day for the next 6 months, and I had a sponsor. I worked all the 12 steps. I did everything full out because I knew, again, that my life depended on it, because it did. And I was able to, since that day, actually, in 1997, I have effortlessly been sober, no recreational drugs, no alcohol, nothing like that. But there's more. After these 6 months of working through the program, I got a very strong message again, and this time it was telling me to leave AA and go on my own spiritual path. I was kind of scared about that at first because my newfound sobriety was precious to me. But I followed my inner guidance. I went on my own. Now, disclaimer here, just an aside, important note. I would recommend AA to anybody who's going through addiction problems or addiction issues. Absolutely, 100%. Just in my case, it was time for me to move on to my own spiritual path. And this led to studying and investigating Eastern philosophies such as yoga and Buddhism, and I had been meditating every day, and I've been doing that since that day. I have not missed a day of meditation, over 25 years ago now. As I said, I've studied some philosophical and spiritual systems, if you want to call them systems, some quite deeply. I've been influenced as well quite a bit by the Western, so-called Western esoteric systems, and I am a tarot reader. And I teach tarot as well. So I use tarot as a way to help people like you to understand themselves, to make themselves whole, to also kind of peek around the corner at the possibilities of how things are unfolding and how best to approach them. So that's one thing. And then I also use methods of spiritual counseling to help people to shift, to come to terms with any frustration or inner conflicts that might be holding them back. And that's what I'm here for. Not for you to blindly follow what I say, even though what I'm sharing is from my own hard-won experience. But here's the thing, it's also echoing the things that have been said throughout the ages by the hundreds upon hundreds of wise men and women who have walked this path before all of us. But that's the thing, you want to find it out for yourself. That's my key. One of my key points is that no matter what anyone says, no matter who they are, even though it could be very true and profound, you want to find that resonance within yourself. You don't just want to believe it because you want something to believe in. I definitely have a calling to share my knowledge and my insights, my experiences. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.